it from there, either through input supply or cash supply. There was also the rural banking scheme, rural banking program, which started in 1977. This program made it mandatory for all the then existing banks to establish a certain number of rural branches. By its third phase in 1991, many of the banks, instead of establishing what they call cash loss centers, they prefer paying penalties, because they said if you didn't establish such a branch within that space of years, you pay a certain penalty. So the banks preferred paying penalty than going to establish cash loss centers, because they felt that money is not in any of the rural areas. Then also one of the things going for this rural banking program was that whatever that is mobilized within that community, 50% of that should be given as credit to the customers of that bank from that community, so that it will help in the production system there. Then there's this agricultural development program which started in 1975, and this program has been of great success. That by the time it started in then Benue State in Ayamba. It's also a World Bank sponsored project which involved the Agricultural Ministry, the Federal Ministry, and the state ministries working towards creating roads, feeder roads, where the farmers will use to go to their farms, giving them credit, giving them input with which to grow whatever crop they are into. They were also found in giving extension services to the farmers. Then Green Revolution. This was started by the second civilian regime we had. We had the first between 60 and 66 before the war broke out, and the second one was 79 to 83. So it was the civilian regime that established this, meant to give credit to farmers, mobilize the farmers and non-farmers alike. Anybody that is interested to be in the farm was given credit to do that. Then it also has the package of extension service. For the failure of the rural banking program, in 1991, the military government felt that rural communities on their own has gone ahead to establish primary schools, gone ahead to establish secondary schools, at the state or regional level, gone ahead to establish university, gone ahead to give themselves electricity, gone ahead to give scholarship to their indigent students, or not even if they are not indigent, but very brilliant students. Most of, like I mentioned last time, most of our first generation graduates who studied overseas, we are community funds that brought them in. So the government felt that since people have organized themselves to establish all these things, why don't they establish a financial institution? That brought up the issue of community banking program. It's the informal Isusu clubs, like the one I mentioned. Somebody who is born in Mali and married to somebody in Ghent, they organize themselves, form women from Mali that are married to Ghent. That's a financial institution they have established within themselves. They contribute $1 today. The first person who picked a ballot may collect that money. The next day, the second person, and so on. So having seen this kind of thing in operation in the rural areas, the government felt that there's need for them to gather this group to make them a formal financial institution. That was the birth of the community banking system, of which I worked for 9 years before I joined academics. And that was what took my interest, coupled with my early experiences into agri-finance and rural development. Because the thing came up like a wildfire. A lot of people benefited from it. A lot of people benefited when the thing was being done honestly. But with time, and because of the, the simple nature of its operation, people now found a way of cheating and cheated out. And many of them collapsed. Many of them collapsed. Because for you to take a community bank loan, you did not to mortgage or pledge or drop anything. For the fact that you are from community A that owns the community bank, you are entitled to have credit if you need it, just for personal recognition. But along the line, people abused it. So we come again to it as we progress.